I know what used to make us cool. What you
we like it there. We like it. Mine too.
Oh, really? I mean, I just saw it right away on, no, Gary. I said, and so then he told me right away. And then I looked and I saw it. Oh, yeah, we met in the parking lot. Sue, I get it. I understand. No, because I remember when she got married, it happened to me. Yeah, no problem. Because it's my birthday. Yeah. No, it's not till 20. Monday is my birthday. I'm going to go say a few more hellos. I want to say hi. It's my birthday, yeah. Maybe this is your turn. Yeah. Now I know what I need. Yes. This is like a kind of, you need these shirts. Yeah.
So what color hair are we going to use for you?
No, wait till you actually.
Her name?
Ooh, they think they can't should like that's dangerous. That's dangerous. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. So nice to see you this morning as we celebrate Piper becoming a Bat Mitzvah. My name is Cantor Lisa Peacock. I'm joined on the Bima by Rabbi Bo Shapiro. We've almost got him on the microphone. We're going to begin our service by just a friendly reminder that our policy here on the Moshe Boulevard Temple campus is whether indoors or outdoors that we wear our mask over our nose and our mouth at all times. So we respectfully ask that you put on your mask and keep it on for the remainder of the service, just so we try to keep everyone in our community as safe as possible during these crazy times. We're going to begin our service by calling up our proud parents to present a paper with her tallit on the occasion of her becoming a Bat Mitzvah. Piper, you know from your time in our religious school that the most important part of our tallit, although it's a beautiful hot pink one to match your hair, that the most important part is the fringes that hang off the tzitzit. And those tzitzit are meant to remind us of those 613 commandments that we're supposed to live our life as P5. Of course, we do not live our life by all 613, but it's a reminder that as a young Jewish adult, that there is a responsibility to talk and to act and to think a certain way I just want to say also, it sounds like a big responsibility, and it is, but you have two incredible people who are by your side every step of the way. You have your friends and family who are gathered in front of you. You have all the people watching on the live stream. Hello. So we're going to say the blessing together. All you have to do is repeat after me. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher yishanu mitzvotav v'tzivanu v'chitateh v'tzitzit. And the chitateh v'tzitzit means to literally wrap yourself in the fringes of the, now I'm much louder, of the talit, because not only are you wrapping yourself in the thousands of years of Jewish tradition that came before you, but you are wrapping yourself in the many traditions and different traditions within your family as well, and those traditions and values that we hope you will continue for many, many generations to come. So you guys can go ahead and place that beautiful talit over her shoulders. Very nice. The color coordination is spot on. You guys can take a seat. We're going to begin with the words of Ma Tovu, which you can follow along on page 172. Now you can read page numbers. Ma Tovu, Ma Mishkanotecha Yisrael, Ma Tovu, Ma Tovu, Ohan Lecha Yaakov, Mishkanotecha Yisrael, Va'ani berov chasecha, Avo beitecha,
Page 177 for the Nisim B'Chol Yom, for the blessings for the daily miracles of our lives.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hama'avir sheina minai utnomach me'af apai.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'atzani b'tzelem Elohim.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'atzani bat chorim.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'atzani Yisrael.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam oter Yisrael b'givura.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam oter Yisrael b'tifara.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah.
Amen.
We'll turn now to page 188. Join together in Psalm 150.
Hallelujah, 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 El Bekodsho, hallelujah, Birkiya Uzo. We're in the middle of page 193. Yishtabach Shimcha La'ad Malkeinu, Ha'el HaMelech HaGadol VeHaKadosh B'Shamayim u'Ba'aretz, Baruch Atah Adonai, El Melech Gadol Batishbachot, El HaHodaot Adon HaNiflaot, Habocher B'Shirei Zimra, Melech Elchei HaOlamim, Yitgadal v'yitqadash Shemei Rabbah, Ve'alma tivrach rutei v'yamlich malchutei, B'chayechon u'b'yomechon, U'b'chayei techol Beit Yisrael, Ba'agala u'b'zman kariv, Ve'imeru Amen. Yehi Shemei Rabbah mevarach, Me'al olam me'al me'ayah, Yitbarach, Yitbarach, Yishtabach, Yitba'ar, Yitramam, Yitnasei, V'yitadar, V'yitaleh, V'yitalah, Shemei b'kudesha brichu, brichu le'na mikol b'chata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma, ve'imeru, amen. At the top of page 195, we rise, if we're able to, for our call to prayer, the Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu, et Adonai, hamevorach. Baruch Adonai, hamevorach, le'olam va'ed. Baruch Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, yotzer or uborei choshech, עושה a moment, we're going to recite the watchword of the Jewish people, the words of the Shema. I encourage you all to just close your eyes, take a nice deep breath, listen to the beautiful sounds of nature all around you as we claim together that we are all connected as one. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam. You may be seated. We're on page 201, where Piper is going to lead us in the chanting of the Ve'ahavta.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levacha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'adecha v'hayu hadarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavecha hayom al levanecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'beitecha u'vlechtecha b'derech u'shokbecha u'kumecha u'kshartam le'od al yadecha v'chayu letotafot bein einecha u'ktabtam al mezuzot beitecha u'b'isharecha leman tizkeru ve'asitem ekol mitzvotaim v'tam kadoshim le'lohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti echem mi'eretz Mitzrayim v'yod lachem le'elohim ani Adonai Elohechem.
We're going to continue at the bottom of page 201 in English.
Love Adonai your God with every heartbeat, with every breath, with every conscious act. Keep in mind the words I command you today. Teach them to your children, talk about them at work, whether you are tired or you are rested. Let them guide with the work of your hands. Keep them in the forefront of your vision. Do not leave them at the doorway of your house or outside your gate. They are reminders to do all of my mitzvot so that you can be holy for God. I am Adonai your God. I led you out of Egypt to become your God. I am Adonai your God.
That last part, the I led you out of Egypt piece, is what we celebrate, that freedom from slavery, that redemption that our ancestors experienced when they left Egypt, came to the shore of the sea, crossed through the sea, got to the other side, and sang these words of poetry, these words of rejoicing, words of Michamocha on page 204.
Kodesh, Narate Hilot ופתי חירומך, יהודה וישראל, גואלנו, אדוני צבאות שמו, קדוש ישראל, ברוך אתה אדוני, גאל ישראל.
Turn now to page 205. We rise for the Amidah, and it's our pleasure to invite Joy and Kevin Glock to open the Amidah.
Adonai, sefatai tiftahu fi agiv tehilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elokei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elokei Avraham, Elokei Yitzhak, v'Elokei Yaakov, Elokei Sarah, Elokei Rivka, Elokei Rahel, Elokei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Ha'gibor ve'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomer Chasadim Tovim, Ve'konei Hakol, Ve'zocher Chasdei Avot ve'Imaot, U'mevi Geula Livnei B'neihem, Ve'man Shemo Be'achava, Melech Oseh U'Moshia U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham Be'ezras Sarah, Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechayei Hakol Atah, Rav Yehoshia, Morin Hatal, Mechayel Hayim Bechesed, Mechayei Hakol Berachamim Ramim, Somech Noflim Berofei Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Melekayem Emunato, Lishenei Afar, Michamocha Ba'al Geburot, Umidon Melach, Melech Memit Umechayem, Umatzmiah Yeshua, Bene'emanotah Lecha Hayot HaKol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayei HaKol.
We remain standing on page 208 for the words of Kedusha.
נקדש את שמך בעולם, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשני מרום, ככתוב על יד נביאך, וקרא זה ויאמר, קדוש, 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 אדוני צבאות, מלוך על הארץ, כבודו, אדיר אדירנו, אדוני אדוננו, אדיר שמך בכל הארץ, ברוך כבוד אדוני במקומו. אחד הוא אלוהינו, הוא אבינו, הוא מלכנו, הוא מושיענו והוא ישמיענו, ברחמיו לעיני כל חי. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, ימלוך אדוני לעולם, אלוהי ציון, לדור ודור. הללויה. לדור ודור נגיד גודלך, ולנצח נצחים קדושתך נקדיש, ושבחך אלוהינו מפי
with the remainder of our Amidah silently through page 219, either with the words on the pages of the prayer book or the words of our hearts.
You may be seated. Turn out to page 244 for the service for the reading of Torah.
אין כמוך באלוהים אדוני, ואין כמעשיך. מלכותך מלכות כל עולמים, וממשלתך בכל דור ודור. אדוני מלך, אדוני מלך,
In this scroll is the secret of our people's life from Sinai until now. Its teaching is love and justice, goodness and hope. Freedom is its gift to all who treasure it.
Baruch Shenatan Torah Torah. Baruch Shenatan Torah Torah. Le'amo Yisrael B'kedushato. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu. Adonai Echad, Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo. Gadol Adonai iti, uneromema Shemo yachdav.
We can be seated.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. We're going to hear a beautiful Devar Torah from our Bat Mitzvah, Piper. Strangely enough, of course, this is a rescheduled date, and Piper's original Torah portion was Parshat Terumah, which you're going to learn about, talks about the different gifts that people offered in the Mishkan. And I think it's so fitting that the Shabbat after Yom Kippur, when we spent all of our time atoning for our sins, that even though it's not part of the Jewish calendar year of technically the Torah portion, that we're going to start our new year and the Shabbat after Yom Kippur hearing about how each one of us is a gift unto our community. So we're going to hear Devar Torah from our Bat Mitzvah.
I was going to say, I don't think it's an accident that the paper color and Piper's hair color match.
And the Talit.
I think we have a theme going on.
It's the share.
From now on, I think we have to insist that the paper matches the color.
And my sister is on the back of my papers.
Not telling you, just saying.
All right. My Torah portion is called the Parshat Terumah. In a nutshell, it's about the portable sanctuary, the Mishkan, that the Jews built under God's instruction. It was most importantly an ark to hold the Torah during the travel through the desert. Every Jew took part in supplying the materials, and this Mishkan was a tangible, visible assurance of the people of Israel on Mount Sinai. A visible assurance of the bond between God and the people of Israel on Mount Sinai. When I looked closer, there was a certain detail on the Torah that really stood out to me. And it was the cherubim that are two statues on top of the ark, including the word. This is messed up. But on top of the ark, there are these two cherubim. They are these statues of these winged creatures, with including the commandment or the rule. They shall look at each other. The interpretation of the cherubim is allegorical. The cherubim are symbols for how God wants human beings to care about one another. They are to make an effort to see one another, to understand what brings pain or joy in another's lives. It is forbidden to turn away, to avoid others, to practice indifference. Like the cherubim, human beings are meant to serve God by keeping their eyes on the needs of others. We have to care about one another, especially now, because we are all struggling. On a personal level, I don't know what I'd do without the people who were back or who had my back and were compassionate towards me. I'm talking to the people who are listening to me right now. My family here are all people that have been compassionate towards me, and I don't know what I would do without you guys. Nothing makes me feel better than when I feel understood and listened to. There have been times when I feel overwhelmed, and the things that pulled me out of it were always you guys. They would just listen, you guys just listen and try to understand me. Knowing how amazing it is to feel heard makes me extra aware to listen back. It's important to me to understand the people I care about. There is nothing I wouldn't do for these people. I have deep conversations with my sister, and it's important to me to make sure my friends are all right. During this pandemic especially, I've cried more than I used to, and I know I'm not the only person who's having and has had these difficulties. We need to be here for each other as God commanded us.
Your Devar Torah paper is so riveting.
You're like Snow White. You've attracted all of the animals and creatures.
We've been at this outside for like going on 2 years now, and never.
Squirrel just came on up. He wanted to join. He's welcome to join.
Kind of looks like one of the chairmen.
We need to be here for each other as God commanded us, now more than ever before. Only together will we be able to get through this. Scratch that. It's because we're together that we and I have been able to get through this so far. The end point I'd just like to get across is that I'm so grateful for the people who are compassionate towards me, and that I will be compassionate back to the best of my abilities. So, turn to your left and turn to your right. Look at your friends and your loved ones, and just continue to care. Continue to love, because that's the only way. I love you all. Thank you.
Beautiful. So now we are ready to officially read our Torah portion for this morning. So for our first Aliyah, we're going to call up David Bryman and Fern Karp to chant the blessing before the reading of Torah. You can follow along on page 252 with that blessing.
Adonai, Hamborah.
Baruch Adonai,
Baruch Le'olam Ha'ed.
Baruch Adonai, Hamborah, Le'olam Ha'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech olam, asher b'charbanu b'kol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai, Noten HaTorah.
Amen. Ve'adaber Adonai el Moshe lemor. Daber el b'nei Yisrael v'yichudi teruma me'eh kol ish asher yibenu libo tiku et terumati vezot hateruma asher tiku me'itam zahav chesed unchoshet utchelet ve'araman ve'tola ashanim ve'seis v'izim ve'orot elim me'adamim ve'orot tachashim ve'seis v'izim.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech olam, asher natan lanu Torah emes v'chayei olam notah b'tokeinu. Baruch atah Adonai, noten HaTorah.
For our second Aliyah, we're going to call upon Susan Bryman and Stacy Bryman to chant the blessing before the reading of Torah. Okay, got extras. Baruch Adonai Hamborah, Baruch Adonai Hamborah Le'olam Ha'ed. Baruch Adonai Le'olam Ha'ed.
Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et zerto, baruch atah Adonai Elokeinu haTorah. Amen.
Amen. Shemesh u'ama'or, Besamim le'shemen hamishkar, Beliktoret hasemim, Avnei shofar, Ve'avnei milim, La'efod belachoshen, Ve'asulim mikdash, Ve'shachantim, Betocham.
Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah temet, v'chayei olam atah b'tocheinu, baruch atah Adonai Elokeinu haTorah. Amen.
Well, with the Torah, our source of strength before us, we'll take a moment amidst our joy and our celebration on the Shabbat to think of loved ones and family members, members of our community who are in need of healing, in need of wholeness. And in just a moment, in the middle of page 253, we'll offer a Misha Berach, a prayer of healing for them. So if there's someone in your life, if you're thinking of someone this morning who could use a bit of wholeness, a bit of healing, I invite you to call their name to mind now and to hold them in your heart now as together we offer these healing words of Misha Berach.
This morning, we call upon our Bat Mitzvah, Piper Bryman.
Tahamot, tamot, tamot, habachura habat mitzvah, pazit atra Miriam, bat gadol baruch vechil, maftir chazak, ani lekabel et or haTorah.
Baruchu et Adonai Hamborach.
Baruch Adonai Borach Leolam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamborach Leolam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Elokeinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. Kechol asher ani mired otcha, et tavnid chamishcha, ve'et tavnid kol kelam, v'chol ta'asu, ve'asu Aaron atzei shitim, amatayim al chetzi, Orko, ve'amam v'cheti ochbo, ve'amam v'cheti komato, betzipita ochbo, tahor, mibayit to mikut, katsapanu, ve'asita Allah, zezachar, savir. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam nata betochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Piper, we only have one thing to say to you. Simmen tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, simmen tov, simmen tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, simmen tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, simmen tov. To lift and redress our Torah, and to help us dress our Torah, we're going to call upon Riley up to the bima. We all stand. Piper, how you feeling?
Feeling good.
You're feeling good? I don't know if your smile was bigger on your face or if your mom's smile was bigger on your face. I'm not quite sure. Piper, I am so proud of what you have accomplished. I know this was a date many years in planning of rescheduling and COVID and not knowing if this day would actually happen, but it happened, and you chanted your Torah so beautifully and all of your blessings so beautifully. I had the pleasure to work with you the last month in preparation for your bat mitzvah, and from our very first Zoom, when this vibrant pink hair just showed up on the screen with just the biggest smile and so energetic. You're such a beautiful human being, and I can't wait to see all of the incredible things that you're going to do with your life. So we are all so proud of you, and we are all aware of how hard you have worked. But I also know that you're aware, as you said, that you wouldn't be here without the people who show compassion and support to you regularly. So you have some words of gratitude that you'd like to share with everyone.
I will say that my sermon itself, I was thanking you guys the entire time. And I do not have my thank yous printed out like I had written them down, but I know who I'm saying thank you to, and that is all of you. Special thanks to a thank you that's expected, but Mom and Dad. I wouldn't be here without you guys, literally. But you guys have always been my biggest pillars of support, and I know that you'll continue to be there for me, and that makes it so much easier and makes me more comfortable to pursue things that make me happy, and I appreciate your guys' support. Speaking of support, Sylvia's here, and and my sister. But I wanted to talk. My sister's been here for 11 years? I've known her for 11 years. We've been related for 11 years now. And these past 2 years, especially during quarantine, I think we've gotten a lot closer. And I don't know what I'd do without you, because it was just us for a long time. It was rough in the beginning, but we got there, and now I don't know what I'd do without you. And Sylvia, it's been 7 years. It's been 7 years, and you're here. Going farther down family tree, I want to thank all of my grandparents who are here, and there's a lot of you guys. Down here. But a special thanks to Grandma Tata, because her house and her company has become such a big part of my life more recently, and I don't know what I'd do without everything around you. You've become a very big part of what I consider home. I would also like to thank everybody here who is aunts, uncles, because I've heard grandparents. I need to thank everybody. Auntie Joy, you never stopped to make me laugh, ever. Papa Dave, you have definitely helped me on my stay very true to myself, and my manners are definitely better because of you. You've definitely helped me with that. I don't have my thank yous with me, so they've been very secure. Mom, I really appreciate you, but I do really. One second. I have more thank yous. I have more thank yous. Okay, I'm back. We're back. Nana and Papa, thank you for being here. I'm so glad that you guys are so close. Fullerton is close enough. Even though this is my Jewish tradition, I love my Japanese side of the family. And the culture that I have been able to experience because of you guys and the family that I am there has made me so happy. I also appreciate that because of you, I have my mom and all of my aunts and all of my cousins, who I love dearly as well. Nana, you cook some of the greatest food. It's a lot of the same stuff, but I love it so much. I will always love that. And Papa, you take us to really fun places. Your company is great, and your conversations are great. I love your stories, and I really appreciate you being here.
Is there anybody left?
Right? So yeah, it's a very small affair. You get to everyone. My other friend could not make it. I was going to talk about her when I was talking about Sylvia, but Haley, if you're watching the live stream, which I hope you are, thank you so much for being here. I don't know what I'd do without you. I always feel bad because when I thank certain people, there's people I'm not able to, thank. But I'm thanking everyone who showed up, because going back to my sermon, I don't know what I'd do without, this wouldn't be a ceremony if there was nobody watching. It would. Correction of those words. I feel like it's so much more important to me now because I know all of the people who have helped me get here to help me celebrate. A special thanks.
Beautiful.
Oh, last thanks. This is literally the beginning of my thank yous. Thank you, Kent and Lisa, for this past month of helping. Also, your voice is so good. Like, we've been working together for a month, and like, I knew you could sing, but we're here, and you've sung a lot, and wow.
She actually just lip syncs. It's not.
And then Rabbi Shapiro, this couldn't have been done without you, and I'm so glad that you are here helping me. Thank you. Beautiful.
You can print it for the 4 o'clock service.
Yeah, there you go. Let's do it again. Okay, so now we're going to call up Gary and Jill to share their blessing with Piper on the occasion of her bat mitzvah. We'll see if they printed it out.
I think Piper had the sentiment right. Thank you all for attending in person, and for those who are unable to attend in person due to our circumstances. Hopefully you're able to join us on the live stream. We are really fortunate. We have hearts full of gratitude because I think as Piper gets older, she's going to continue to realize this, but we have an amazing family. It is an extended family, not only for our 10 aunts for you, Piper and Riley, but all of our extended friends and family. And it's unique. As you get older, you realize that is not always the case. Actually, it's an exception to the rule. But the love that we have for you and the family support that we have for you is truly wonderful. I could not be more honored to be your father. I'm so proud of you. I love you so much. I'll make this quick, but over the last couple of weeks, I've gotten pretty sentimental because I have been calling through 65,000 pictures. And the joke in the family is I'm the guy that always is taking pictures that no one will ever see. I think secretly, in the back of my mind, I knew why I was taking those pictures, and it was because of today. And looking at those moments that are pretty extraordinary, and them all come together to watch you grow from a beautiful little baby to a precocious, inquisitive little girl into a strong, determined, beautiful woman has been one of the greatest joys of your mother and my life so far. And we just wish you everything in life that you want, the best. May you find that passion, may you stoke it, may you fight for it, even if it's anime. I will have to support it, because those are the words that have been taught to us from our family. And I could not be more proud. So thank you, and thank you all for helping us celebrate.
John pretty much said it all, but yesterday at dinner, Grandma was telling me that it turns out that Piper's middle name, Kayla, I knew it had a Hawaiian meaning, which meant benevolent, or another translation is the path, the right path. And I don't think that could have been more perfect for you, because your moral compass is so strong, and you have always had a good head on your shoulders. And well, you make some silly mistakes here and there, but you're a good person, and you're going to do amazing things. And in Hebrew, turns out Keala means crown. And we all know that Piper is going to take over the world one day. But I hope so, because you're going to make this world a better place, and I know that you're destined to do great things. And even though you don't want to have kids, you're going to be the most amazing mother to either your kids or the planet that you will be helping to shepherd into whatever greenness that you will take it. and I believe in you, and I'm so proud of you. And you amaze me, and your piperisms are so clever. And I just think you're wonderful. So I love you.
Beautiful. Our tradition has the perfect moment, the perfect blessing for moments like this, the words of the Shehachianu. We thank God for giving us life, for sustaining us, and for allowing us to reach this exact moment in time. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Shehachianu v'kiyamanu v'hihiyanu lazman hazeh, to which you can all respond, Amen.
Piper. Okay. It never ceases to amaze me that more often than not, despite the fact that what happens in a Shabbat morning service is structured and ancient, that more often than not, it is still infused with the energy and the essence and the spirit of the Bar Bat Mitzvah. And I think that was so much the case this morning. This was imbued with your energy and your passion and your soul and heart, which is so beautiful to see. And I know everyone here sees that in you and loves that in and about you. You spoke to us about something, I think, and I said this to you last week when I think read your draft. I certainly have never commented on the cherubim above the ark in the tabernacle. I've never heard anyone pick that out of this Torah portion, and I think it's beautiful. I often say that I love working with Bar Mitzvah students because I learn something from each and every one of them, because you see something in the Torah portion that I'd never thought of. But this idea that we ought to look at each other instead of looking away is so important. And you know that. You taught us that. We've definitely learned that this year. And you're going to go out into a world, as you already know, that will often try to convince you to look the other way. To turn your back on other people. That as long as you get what you need and you take care of yourself, that's a totally fine way to go through life. That is a totally fine way to go through life. But that's not a recipe for a meaningful life. That's not a recipe for a rich life. It's not a recipe for a blessed life. And so my hope for you and my prayer for you is really that you don't forget what you taught us all today. And that you go out into the world and you don't turn your back on others, and you don't look out only for yourself, and you use that energy, that spirit, and that heart, and that passion that is who you are, to show that kindness and compassion, to bring a little healing to our world that so desperately needs it. And so it's with that hope and with that prayer that we bless you now with these words from the Torah. Bless you and always keep you safe. May God always smile at you and be very, very good to you. Always know that God is close, and God grants you the greatest gift there is, a life filled with peace. page 282. Page 282, the bottom of the page will rise for Aleinu. We'll ask Robert, Joseph, Bryman, and Don Burson to come up and open the ark. All right. You do the work of 4 people here.
עלינו לשבח לטון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל עוונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יראה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
Seated. We turn our thoughts now to sacred moments of memory, moments of Kaddish, as we recall loved ones, family members, members of our community who are no longer with us. This morning we're particularly thinking of Muriel Bartmaster and Hi Bryman, Eve Bryman, Steve Bartmaster, Joy Adler, Morty Adler, and Alan Adler. We also think of those to whom we are grateful but do not know, those who have fallen defending the flags of the United States of America, the state of Israel, all the innocent victims of senseless terrorism and violence all over the world, and everyone who has no one to say Kaddish with. We take them all into our hearts as our own. We say Zichronam Uvracha, may their memories always, forever be a blessing to us. The Mourner's Kaddish is on page 294. We rise. Gadal v'kadash shemei rabah, ve'alma divrach v'teh v'nikmat v'teh, chaye chon v'yomeh chaye dekol beit Yisrael, v'agalav zman karim v'imru.
Amen.
Yehi shemei rabah v'barach elam v'amayim, v'barach v'shtabach v'pa'ar v'tomar v'naseh, v'tadar v'taleh v'talal shemei v'kudsha v'rifu, ve'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tush b'chata v'nechemata, ta'amiram be'alma v'knuru. Amen. Yehi shlama rabba v'nishmaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom v'mromah, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru.
Amen. We conclude our Shabbat morning service with a prayer for peace, the words of Oseh Shalom. Feel free to put your arms around your loved ones.
Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru, amen. Ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
We remain standing for a quick Kiddush and Motzi. Oh, Rabbi Shapiro is going to serve you. That's very special. Okay, ready, Piper? Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagan.
sibling hollow pole. It's an ancient ritual. Dates back to the first temple, 6th century before the Common Era. Oh, for the birthright. Oh, yeah. Piper for the win. Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Shabbat shalom, everyone. Thank you, Stephen Rosenstein, our wonderful pianist.
Yeah, that was lovely.
That's crazy. That kid is a little bit
Take pictures of you guys. Okay. How does it get hyper?
They just kind of know what. Yeah, so it took him some time. He's working out. I got the girl who got the girl. I got this one. So listen, got that congrats. Come here.
Kevin knows his initials, so she texted me and she said, Piper's amazing, your burn is up, you wouldn't miss it for anything.
You're the one. I don't think the stuff's going to get stolen around here, brother. I think we're okay. I left that. Key in the car.
I remember
I'm just giving people hallway.
I've had people tell me that before. Many. They just have You're 21, I'll let you know my Ready for cake?
on the corner.
She turned over, let me see. She turned over perfectly. Yeah.
Hey, Frank, can you snap some shotties? Thank you, guys. That was wonderful. Oh, it's fine. I think you can probably cut it now. Just put it on. Really appreciate it. Always.
I don't know. Where am I standing? Thanks, guys.
You're all invited back to 1-1 Internet Pacific.
Nice to meet you.